Sorry, somebody was calling, but I knew that it was gonna be hard to get over this. And as I'm looking for my support system, my wife, she just broke down, and I expected her to do that, but she just was heated, and she just was just like balled up with all kind of emotion, and she just ran out. So it was just me, the doctor, and Marcia's godmother at that point. So I was just trying to get myself together real quick and trying to be strong and figure out what was I going to do next and why me, and kept telling myself, oh, she's going to tell me she was just playing. I don't know, I was just in so much of a shock. It was just, I didn't know how to feel, what to say, nothing. Only thing I kept remembering saying is, are you sure? I could have swore I felt her moving just the other day or just yesterday, or I just kept telling her I don't think so, because I was still feeling kicks or whatever. And she just kept saying, she's been gone for a couple of days, and she said, do you want to schedule for a DNC, or do you want to go home and just, you know, figure out, get yourself together and then do your DNC. And like I told her, I said I never had a DNC before, but as I've heard of it, it hurts, it's painful, and that they scrape your uterus or whatever. So I told her, let me go home and let me figure it out what day, and I'll call her and I'll let her know. And she was like, well, just go home and have a miscarriage, and when you pass the baby, go immediately to the emergency room and they'll do an emergency DNC. So I told her, okay. So it was so painful to walk out that clinic and go to my car and drive those 20 miles to back home. The first person I called was my mother, and my mother was like, she didn't believe that, because she's a God-fearing woman and God has the last say. Is they sure? And told her that they was pretty positive on it, that she was already gone, and she was just like, I just don't believe that. Just she told you to go home and have a miscarriage, but if you don't get the bleeding in the next day, you still pregnant. So I was telling her, I said, okay, mom, just trying to calm myself down, because my mama, she's very emotional. She really wants me to have a child. She really believes that I deserve a child. Me being a baby girl, your mom always wants the baby girl to reproduce and have a child of their own, to basically a product of them, basically. So she really was ruined for me to be pregnant, and really wanted that child to come, because she knows my struggle and what I've been through, and me being through miscarriages all my life. She was just positive that I was going to have Marsaya. My health wise back in the past, and me getting better, she just knew everything was going to be okay. So she was just saying, baby, don't stress yourself out. Just go home, try to get you some rest, and collect yourself and get it together. So I told her, okay, ma. So I didn't want nothing to eat. I went straight home. I laid down. I was in the most unbearable pain, I can say. It was like so much of a cramp. So I was like, oh shit, I'm about to have a miscarriage like right now. So I laid on the couch a couple hours, took about an hour nap. Then my wife and my Marsaya's godmother was like, I think you should go into bed and lay down and try to stretch out and try to, collect yourself, because they're like, you're in so much pain, you need to go to the hospital. And I kept saying, there's only one hospital I want to go to, because my local hospital, I really feel like they'll freaking kill you if you let them. So I told them, if I was going to have a miscarriage and I was going to have a DNC, I wanted to go to a Pacific hospital. And that hospital is 45 miles away from our house. So I told them, well, let me get some rest. Let me, put some in my stomach, and then we'll be ready to go. So we all went and got in the bed. The godmother, my wife, and the godmother has a child of her own. She has a daughter herself, and she calls me Auntie. So my niece, you would say, was all in the bed. We was all listening to gospel basically for about 45 minutes, and everybody was praying. Of course, the baby didn't know exactly what was going on. She's only 2, but she just kept saying, Auntie, baby's okay, baby's okay. You know, like, babies and children, they detect when something's not right and something's, you know, hurting a person. Because I was doing a lot of crying. She just kept saying, it's going to be okay, and it's going to be okay. So, like I said, we were just sitting there, we were praying for about another hour, until my wife was like, come on, it's getting dark, so let's just go on and make this trip. So, as I got to that hospital, I told them I had a doctor's appointment. They said that my baby had been dead for 3 days, but I keep feeling kicks. And as I was sitting in bed and we were doing praying and we were listening to gospel and we were just talking, everybody felt movement. Like, everybody kept saying, oh my God, she's kicking. Like, how is she deceased? And we feeling kicking. And I'm like, well, I know I'm not losing it, and I feel kicking. And everybody was saying they felt her moving, they felt her kicking. So they did another ultrasound. She couldn't find a heartbeat, so she let somebody else do it, and then they declared that she had been indeed deceased for about 3 days. And they told me that they wanted me to do a natural birth. They wanted me to just basically have her natural. Even though she was stillborn, they still wanted me to go through labor and have her vaginally. So I went through 24 hours of labor. Worst pain of my freaking life. I ended up getting an epidural. They was putting some kind of pill up in my woo-ha. I'm pretty sure you can figure out what a woo-ha is. In my woo-ha to make me dilate, but for some reason they were not melting. I don't know why, but they were not melting. Like, this woman put like at least 6 pills, and every time she checked me to see if I was dilating, she kept saying, oh, this one's still sitting in here. And she started trying to wet them with her hand and mush them up and put Vaseline, and it was not working. So I went through all day of them just sticking their hands in there and me not having an epidural yet, and her keep saying the pill ain't melted yet and I'm not dilating. And I was just, basically, I felt like I was being tortured. Like, it was the worst pain of my freaking life, and I don't wish that on no freaking body. So eventually she was like, baby, you are really just stressing yourself out and you're doing a little bit too much. I think it's time for your epidural. And I was pro-natural, and I didn't want an epidural, but the way that stuff was hurting, I was like, God, please protect me. You know, I heard bad stories about epidurals. Just protect me, you know. So basically, I got my epidural. Oh, life was so much better with that epidural. So I finally got some rest, and finally, the next day, my pills started dissolving, and she told me I had dilated by the 3. And that was about, I want to say that was around 6:50, going on 7 o'clock. Somewhere up in 6:50-ish, and closer to 7. And she told me, you're at a 3, so if you feel some pressure, you call us, you let us know. That's gonna mean it's time for you to push. And I was like, okay. She was like, get a nap in, and just let us know if you feel pressure. Just push the button or whatever. So, like I said, it was me, my wife, and Marsaya's godmother. We were all asleep. Like I said, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was tired. I was hurting. I had been hurting a whole day without an epidural. And by the end of the day, that's when I decided to get the epidural. And so I was just wanted some kind of rest. I was just so restless. I was tired. I was just like, oh, let's get this over with. So I went on and took a little nap. And before you knew it, before I could get good in my damn sleep, I started feeling pain. I was like, Lord, let me keep pushing this epidural button. Wasn't nothing happening. I wasn't feeling that rush that I was getting like I was when I was first doing it. So I was like, oh my freaking God, this is what my sister's been telling me, that your epidural, wearing off. So I had called and I said, is there any way that I could get, some more medicine? My epidural is not working no more. She's like, no ma'am, we can't give you nothing else. Just keep pushing your button. I was like, this shit ain't working. So I went back to sleep. I want to say I went back to sleep maybe a good 15 minutes before I just felt something, just a rush. I was like, oh my God, am I pissing on myself? Or am I shitting on myself? Like, am I bleeding? Am I having a miscarriage? Like, I didn't know what to feel. I was not prepared. My general idea was, when I got to my 7th month, my sister was going to coach me on everything, what to expect, what to do, everything. Just be ready for labor and delivery. So at this time, I wasn't nothing but 21 weeks. So I was like, that's something in the past. I mean, that's something in the future. We'll get to it. Ain't no biggie. We shouldn't rush to try to do it. Okay. So like I said, I felt this pressure, and I was like, okay. Well, she said, if I feel pressure, to call and let somebody know. So before I knew it, it was getting hard, and it was just like running. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, Bianca, which that's my Marsaya's godmother. That's my baby's godmother. So I was like, Bianca, and Bianca's a hard sleeper. My wife is a hard sleeper. So when I said Bianca, she instantly like popped up, and I was like, oh my God. So I was kind of still scared for not knowing what was going on, and actually seeing she got a reaction out of her so damn fast. So I was like, Bianca, I think you need to go get the nurse. I think I'm in labor. I think I'm about to deliver, or I don't know what the hell going on. Before I could get delivery out, that girl flew from one side of the damn room to the door, out the damn door, in 2.2 freaking seconds, and I'm not exaggerating. Before you knew it, by the time her and that nurse came back, and they came back pretty fast, I want to say it was like a 2-minute delay. Before when they hit that door open, and I looked at them, I said, I think I done delivered. They pulled that cover back. They said, you sure have. I was like, oh man. No, doctor ain't help me. Like, she like literally slid the freak out. Like, that pressure that I felt, I was like, shit, if I'm in here pissing, I'm in here shitting, or I'm in here bleeding, I'm gonna let this shit go, because this shit hurt. So I just was relaxed, and I just let the shit flow. So not knowing that I was delivering my own freaking baby. Like, I was like, oh my freaking God, like, is she in my lap? So I started feeling some skin. Like, I started feeling something weird on my legs. So I was like, oh my God. I'm rubbing my leg against my baby. Like, she is actually out of my damn ass. Well, literally not out of my ass, but out of my vajayjay. Like, I was like, oh my freaking God, I just delivered a freaking baby. So me still having hopes that she was alive, I was waiting on her cry. And I was like, why she's not crying yet, And so eventually reality had to sit in, Shanika, she's dead. She's not going to cry. You're not going to hear that. So by the time the doctor made it in, because the nurse and the godmother told me I had already delivered. So we were basically waiting on the doctor she said she had just laid down and just closed her eyes before they called her. And by the time she got in there, the baby was already delivered, and all I had to do was push out the placenta. Knowing you, like I said a couple of minutes ago, I didn't know nothing about what to do during labor, what to do during delivery. So she was like pushing. I was trying to push, and she was like, baby, you know you're not doing it right. So she was telling me to push my head down to my chest and just push. And so I did that. That was a freaking worst fucking pain in my fucking life. Like, man, that shit just fucking hurt. Like, it felt like a whole baby. It's freaking 7. Like, Marsaya was not nothing but 12 ounces and 10 inches. That damn placenta felt like a whole natural 7-pound freaking baby. That shit was heavy, and it hurted like hell. Like, I don't see how people do that. Like, oh my God, like, ooh, you can't prepare nobody enough for that shit. So I delivered the placenta, and she did a thorough exam on Marsaya. My wife was holding her. At this point, my wife finally had popped out of her damn sleep, like she was in a freaking casket, and popped out the motherfucker. She was in shock. Like, she didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like, I woke her out of her sleep, I guess screaming from the damn placenta, and she just popped up like somebody popped out of a casket, like, boom. like looking straight away, ain't saying shit. She was just like in total shock. So eventually they passed the baby to her because they said, Mom, do you want the baby? I said, no, pass her to my husband, which, is my wife. I was like, pass her to my husband. And, I was like, she's not crying. And then they kept saying, we don't know what she's going to look like because you're only 21 weeks, we don't know if it's going to be good or if it's going to be bad. And I just was like, let me collect myself. I just went through so much pain. Let me get myself ready mentally. And so my wife was holding her and I seen her crying. I was like, yeah, she's gone. Marsaya's gone. It's not no use to working myself up about it, So the doctor went over and examined Marsaya, was flipping her around, just trying to see if it was any abnormal structures of her, reason why I had a stillborn. She said, oh, this baby is perfect. This baby is fine. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. Like, we're going to have to send the autopsy off. So, remind you, when I delivered, which was at 8:30 on September 23rd, I had just turned 22 weeks. Exactly 22 weeks. That freaking Friday. 12 o'clock hit, I was 22 weeks. I delivered her at 8:30. It hurt so bad not making that 6-month mark, which was my initial goal, because I was like, if I can't hold my baby full term, I at least want to get to 6 months. 2 weeks being of 6 months, it really hurt so freaking bad. Nobody could really understand the pain that I was in at that time. So I was like, if it's nothing wrong with my baby development, like what the hell could have happened? Like what was wrong? So she went to my placenta and I guess she examined it and she said, wow, I figured out what was wrong. She said, here, you see this big old knot? I look at the placenta, it's in a damn tie knot. Like, it's in a freaking knot. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, is this freaking real? Like, how do you do this? She said the baby was active, which I knew she was active because both of her parents, me and the sperm donor, are both hyperactive. So they was like, she must have been playing or flipping around and just being a little active and accidentally knotted herself up in the placenta cord. The placenta is what feeds the baby and what gives the baby the blood supply. And it somehow double knotted itself and cut off her blood supply. Had nothing to do with me. A freak accident. They call it cord accident. Nothing to do with gastric sleeve. Nothing to do with Shanika, which on here everybody knows me as Nika, has had nothing to do with me. It's not possibly nothing that I could have did to stop that. And it finally took me of my due date, which was 4 days ago, to really just realize, Shanika, it was not your fault. It's not nothing you could have did. It just was an accident. And I just have to deal with it and know that my baby's in a better place and that God has a plan for me and my wife. And Marsaya just was something extra special, that God needed her more than I needed her. He needed his angel to come back. And it has taught me so many lessons, life lessons at that, to really enjoy life and really take life seriously. Live your life to the fullest, because in the blink of an eye, your life can end. It has taught me so much as a woman. It has brought me closer with God. It has really strengthened my faith with God. That's why I say God do things for a reason. And I can't keep blaming myself, and I can't keep blaming God for him giving me Marsaya and calling her home early. But that lesson was, I had been through so many miscarriages and had never even stepped foot of 22 weeks to tell myself that my body was worth it and that I actually could do it and my body could actually carry a baby. And there's nothing less about me as a woman. It really just showed me a different light on myself. It just built so much strength in me to just push. And you have to go through stuff to learn stuff. And it has really made me wiser, because I had never been around people or even knew people that had stillborns. And now I have so much knowledge of it, and it's so much a topic now, and people that I didn't know in my own freaking family has experienced stillborn. So I don't blame myself no more at this point, and I do not blame God. But I'm going to be honest, in the beginning I really did. I said, God, how can you bless me with something and then take it back? I regret that to this day for even saying that. I end up having a little graveside ceremony, and burying her in the same cemetery as my brother-in-law, my uncle. Two of my uncles are out there. It was very hard to get through this graveside because I had never planned anything funeral wise, or even been to a funeral home to set stuff together, or even know how to do everything. Like I said, I have learned so much in this experience, just going through it, and it really showed you who cared and who really just didn't care. I learned a lot about people, the way they treated me after, and the stuff that they said when I was at my lowest. Because when I was discharged from the hospital, I freaking lost it when I got home, because I had nothing but clothes, car seats, strollers, bassinets, bouncers. I had everything for Marsaya. I didn't even need a baby shower. I didn't even need a registry. I had already got almost everything. So when I got home, it was reality. I thought it was reality when I left out the hospital and I was the only woman without a baby. No, when I got home and had to see her stuff and her clothes, and that was reality. So the first night I got home, I freaking lost it. It's so much within that story that I really just don't want to even get into that story. That story needs to be a whole nother video itself, because I was really at my lowest. I freaking really flipped. Said plenty of stuff that I didn't mean. Did plenty of stuff that I didn't mean. Got the police called on me. Everything. I was just so hurt. But like I said, I needed to make this video to explain exactly what happened with Marsaya, and to let y'all know I'm finally at peace of what happened. I'll never forget what happened, and I'm not done grieving. I'm not gonna tell you everything is gravy and I'm okay, and no, I'm still a work in progress. I'm getting better with it as the days go by, but I'm actually doing better. I can actually say I'm at a good place in my life, and I'm really accepting what's going on with Marsaya. So I'm gonna end this video, and I'm gonna update y'all some more on other stuff, but I really wanted to get this video out. If anybody has noticed, yes, I do have a tattoo on my chest, tribute to Marsaya. I don't know how good y'all can see it, but it has her day that she was born and her footprints. These are her actual footprints. And I have like the stillborn and miscarriage ribbon with wings on it, but these are her actual footprints. Like I said, she wasn't nothing but 12 ounces, 10 inches, but she has some big ass feet, I'm not gonna lie. Big hands too. And I love her just like if she was here. It's not a day go by that I don't think about Marsaya. I even have a conversation about Marsaya. Marsaya was on my mind so hard. That's the reason why I had to make this video. I just had to really let my followers know exactly what happened. And I'm going to make a video to update y'all on what I'm going to do next, and my plans on future kids. Do I want to try again? Am I going to try again? My thoughts on that, I'm going to make a video on that. So let me end this video with lots of loves, hugs, and kisses. And thank you to the ones that have supported me. Emails, comments. I see everything. I read everything. I try to comment to everything, but it's a work in process. And I also want to give a big shout out to my girl Marsaya Bell of the Bells Plus One on YouTube. When I found out I was pregnant, this is when I was watching her video, Very Tough. Like, I was like, oh my god, her name is so beautiful. I was like, if I ever get pregnant, I'm gonna name my daughter that. So when I found out I was having a daughter, I emailed her and asked her, hey, can I name my daughter after you? I told her about my story, and she told me that was fine. So she told me to keep her updated. So when I lost Marsaya, I sent her an email showing her pictures of Marsaya and letting her know exactly what happened. And she made a video letting me know that she was thinking of me and that she was praying for me. And I can't thank her enough for even making time to share my story about Marsaya. I am very, very, very appreciative, and it did not go unnoticed. It's not a day go by that I don't brag about you making that video for Marsaya. But I just really want you to know, if any one of her fellow Bells want to tag her in this video, to let her know that she really, really was appreciated. And I just ain't words cannot explain how much I was touched that she even cared enough to even discuss my story. I said I wasn't gonna cry or whatever, so I'm gonna go on and end this video. But like I said, Marsaya Bell at the Bells Plus One, thank you very much. And guess I'll catch y'all in the next video.